City Council meeting of April 23rd, 2026. With us for invocation tonight, we have Reverend Jeff Means from City Mission Church. He's here. He is not here. If you would join me in the reciting the Lord's Prayer and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance immediately following. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, power, and glory forever. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please, Mark.
Brown.
Here.
Haney.
Here.
Harvey.
Here.
Hawk.
Here.
Klein.
Here.
Scott.
Here.
Simmons. Here.
Next on the agenda, we have the approval of minutes for the regular council meeting of April 9th, 2026, the Finance Committee meeting of April 9th, 2026, and the Public Utilities Committee meeting of April 9th, 2026. Do I have any edits, additions, or omissions from those minutes? Seeing none, those will stand as approved. Craig?
Move to deviate from the normal agenda to give communications, ordinance, and resolutions first. The start of the meeting, communications, ordinance, resolutions, due to my 14-year-old having a track meet tonight and setting a junior high record, and I'd like to be there. So,
I'll second that. Motion by Craig and second by myself to deviate from the original agenda and read ordinances and resolutions first.
communications.
Communications as well. Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Haney.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons. Aye.
We are deviating from the agenda. Communications. We have a communication from the Division of Liquor Control. Craig.
Sam, do you have any idea what that property is? Because it looks like the only thing up there is like the inflatable place.
Yeah, I'm not sure,
Okay.
to be honest.
It's
I looked it up, but it also showed Dollar General right there, so which that's not their address.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'll request no hearing.
Nate, second. We have a motion by Nate and second by motion by Craig and second by Nate for requesting no hearing for the Division of Liquor Control Communication. Roll call, please.
Brown.
No.
Haney.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons. Aye.
No hearing. Craig.
Okay.
No hearing. We will have no hearing on the Division of Liquor Control communication. Craig.
I'd also like to add to the minutes, receive, file, and make part of the minutes the email letters from the mayor on 4/16 regarding veto of resolution 2616 and 2617 as part of our minutes.
I'll second that. Motion by Craig and a second by myself to include those veto communications. Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Haney.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons. Aye.
Those minutes will be included. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Moving on to ordinances. Marta, would you please give the first reading of ordinance 2629?
Requiring the mayor to provide a list of all major vehicles and equipment to the city finance director by November 1st of each calendar year and declaring an emergency. First reading.
Right.
This is the alternate to 2617, replacing the department heads with the city, with the mayor. I think you all saw, I got an opinion from the solicitors regarding that and a recommendation, and their recommendation was to collect that information from the mayor prior to our budget workshops and stuff for those vehicles and capital expenses, so. I'd like to move to give that second and third reading by title to suspend the rules.
Troy?
I'll second.
I have a motion by Craig and a second by Troy to give ordinance 2629 second and third reading. Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons. Aye.
Rules have been suspended for ordinance 2629. Martin, would you please give that second and third reading by title only?
Requiring the mayor to provide a list of all major vehicles and equipment to the city finance director by November 1st of each calendar year and declaring an emergency, second reading. Requiring the mayor to provide a list of all major vehicles and equipment to the city finance director by November 1st of each calendar year and declaring an emergency, third reading.
Craig.
Move to adopt ordinance 2629.
Troy.
Second.
I have a motion by Craig and a second by Troy to adopt ordinance 2629. Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons. Aye.
Ordinance 2629 has been adopted. Moving on to ordinance 2630. Martin, would you please give that first reading?
Amending the permanent operating budget for the city of Ironton, state of Ohio for the fiscal year ending 2026 and declaring an emergency, first reading.
Nate?
I'd like to note that ordinance 2630 received favorable recommendation from the Finance Committee. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules and give ordinance 2630 second and third reading by title only.
Second. I have a motion by Nate and a second by Sarah to suspend the rules for ordinance 2630. Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons. Aye.
The rules have been suspended for ordinance 2630. Martin, would you please give that second and third reading by title only?
Amending the permanent operating budget for the city of Ironton, state of Ohio for the fiscal year ending 2026 and declaring an emergency, second reading. Amending the permanent operating budget for the city of Ironton, state of Ohio for the fiscal year ending 2026 and declaring an emergency, third reading.
Nate?
Motion to adopt ordinance 2630.
Sarah?
Second.
I have a motion by Nate and a second by Sarah to adopt ordinance 2630. Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons. Aye.
Ordinance 2630 has been adopted. Moving on to ordinance 2623. Martin, would you please give that second reading?
Adjusting monthly rates for wastewater, water administrative fee, and garbage fee, and declaring an emergency, second reading.
Martin, would you please give ordinance 2618 third reading? Oh,
Make a
Nate,
motion.
sorry.
I'm sorry, I want to make a motion on that.
Okay, Nate,
We're on 23, right?
23, yes, sir.
We did not get on 9.
Huh?
26, that's all.
We've not done a nine yet.
That's what I have on the,
Oh.
that's what I had on the amended.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So we're on 20, just to clarify, we're on 2623.
I was reading the, yeah,
Sorry.
I had to, my bad, that's on me.
Okay.
Marta, would you please give ordinance 2609 second reading?
An ordinance of the City Council of Ironton, Ohio to amend the Ironton zoning code to define and add specific requirements for data centers and data center accessory uses, second reading.
Craig?
Want to make mention that this received favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission, that it received its public hearing, and Sarah had mentioned some verbiage in the Planning Commission that it was amended, and I just want to make sure that it's given its third reading as amended.
So that language was removed and given more today.
And it has to get 3 separate readings as well, so. Zoning requires 3 separate readings. So the next one, it would be amended ordinance 2609, third reading.
Marta? Third reading?
The next
meeting.
meeting.
We don't have to start over? Okay. Marta, would you please give amended ordinance 2609 third reading?
We can't get the third reading now.
Oh.
Next meeting.
Okay, my bad. I thought you moved this from the list. I'm sorry. Okay. Marta, would you please give ordinance 2623 second reading?
Adjusting monthly rates for wastewater, water administrative fee, and garbage fee, and declaring an emergency. Second reading.
Nate? Discussion?
Just want to note that without passing 2609, ordinance 26 and 2620 and 2621, it's not financially possible. So I just want to let you know that. So those two have third reading this evening.
You mean 26?
You mean 2623?
Yeah, about 2623, 2620, and 2621 are not financially possible. 2620 and 2621 both are receiving third reading this evening. So I'm going to make a motion to suspend the rules and give ordinance 2623 third reading.
Craig?
I'll second.
I have a motion by Nate and a second by Craig to give ordinance 2623 third reading. Roll call, please, Marta.
Brown.
Aye.
Haney.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons. Aye.
Rules have been suspended for ordinance 2623. Marta, would you please give that third reading by title only?
Adjusting monthly rates for wastewater, water administrative fee, and garbage fee, and declaring an emergency. Third reading.
Nate?
Motion to adopt ordinance 2623.
Craig?
I'll second.
I have a motion by Nate and a second by Craig to adopt ordinance 2623. Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Haney.
No.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons. Aye.
Ordinance 2623 has been adopted. Moving along to ordinance 2618. Marta, would you please give that third reading?
Amending section 1060.02 of the codified ordinances of the city of Ironton, Ohio. Third reading.
Robbie?
I'll move to adopt that ordinance.
Nate?
Second.
Motion by Robbie and a second by Nate to adopt ordinance 2618. Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Haney.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons. Aye.
2618 has been adopted. Marta, would you please give third reading to ordinance 2620?
An ordinance providing for the issuance of not to exceed $3 million of bonds by the city of Ironton, Ohio for acquiring and constructing improvements to the wastewater system and declaring an emergency. Third reading.
Nate?
Motion to adopt ordinance 2620.
Craig?
I'll second.
Sorry, Sarah. Appreciate it. I have a motion by Nate and a second by Craig to adopt ordinance 2620. Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Haney.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons. Aye.
Ordinance 2620 has been adopted. Moving along to ordinance 2621. Marta, would you please give that third reading?
Authorizing the mayor to enter into a professional services contract with Arcadis for design and construct of the Ironton wastewater treatment plant improvements, digester, trickling filter, and disinfection project, and declaring an emergency. Third reading.
Nate?
Make a motion to adopt ordinance 2621.
Craig?
I'll second.
I have a motion by Nate and a second by Craig to adopt ordinance 2621. Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Haney.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons. Aye.
Ordinance 2621 has been adopted. Moving along to ordinance 2622. Marta, would you please give that third reading?
Limiting traffic on South 13th Street between Vine Street and McGovney Avenue to operate only in a northerly direction, and prohibiting on-street parking on 5th Street, and declaring an emergency. Third reading.
Craig?
Move to adopt ordinance 2622.
Nate?
Second.
I have a motion by Craig and a second by Nate to adopt ordinance 2622. Discussion before that. Craig did say he spoke to all parties involved and everybody came to most parties involved. He said he spoke to 2/3 of the neighborhood and said everybody came to an agreement of the directional path they would take. I just wanted to input that, so thank you for doing that, Craig. Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons. Aye.
Ordinance 2622 has been adopted. I make a motion to reconsider ordinance 2616, that is the fire and police chief residency requirement. Craig?
I'll second.
I have a motion by myself and a second by Craig to reconsider ordinance 2616. Roll call, please.
Brown.
Just for clarity, this is just a motion to reconsider at this point, right?
So the motion to reconsider is the same as the override to veto according to the charter. So if it receives a 2/3 vote, it overrides the veto.
Okay.
Which is 5 of the 7.
Gotcha. No.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
No.
Klein.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons. No.
Ordinance 2616 is not reconsidered. Correct. Moving along to resolutions. Resolution 26. Marta, would you please give reading to resolution 2626?
Resolution authorizing participation in the remnant defendant opioid settlement agreement.
Craig?
Move to pass resolution 2626.
I'll second. Motion by Craig and a second by myself to pass resolution 2626. Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons. Aye.
Resolution 2626 is passed. Moving on to resolution 2627. Marta, would you please give that reading?
A resolution authorizing the mayor to apply for, accept, and enter into a water pollution control loan fund, WPCLF agreement on behalf of the city of Ironton for planning, design, and/or construction of the wastewater treatment plant improvements, Ironton digester, filter and disinfection project, and designating a dedicated repayment source for the loan.
Craig?
Move to pass resolution 2627.
Nate?
Second with the discussion.
Discussion.
This resolution, is, talking to Kevin, for him to go and put the nomination with EPA for that third phase of the sewer project for loan, hopefully forgivable loan, and funding, for that. So that's what this is for.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a motion by Craig and a second by Nate to pass resolution 2627. Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons. Aye.
Resolution 2627 is passed. Moving on to resolution 2628. Would you please give that reading?
Requesting the county auditor to certify the estimated property tax revenue for a renewal recreation levy and declaring emergency.
Craig?
Move to pass. Quick discussion.
Discussion.
Brigham, this is the,
This is the first that just certifies the millage.
and then we have additional.
So if Marta can get that to Parker tomorrow, we have to have this to the Board of Elections by first week of August. So we just want to get it.
I'll gladly sponsor the second legislation.
So once we get it back from the auditor, I'll prepare the second resolution and hopefully have it on by the end of June, is my goal.
And also, just to reemphasize, this is a renewal recreation levy, no additional, just renewal. If you look at our rec fund, you can see that it's utilized for recreation, mainly youth basketball, but it's also vital to some of our streetscaping and beautification of Ironton Park, upkeep of our parks. Just putting it on your radar early for November to remind everyone. Typically, the recreation and flood levies do pass because people realize their importance, but just get it on everybody's radar.
I will add to that the revitalization of the H Street Park last go around was helped extremely by the rec levy. Things going on down the riverfront definitely would be helped with this. Like you said, rec sports is hopefully in the near future going to get revamped and revitalized, so that is an extremely important levy. And I will second Craig's motion. So we have a motion by Craig and a second by myself to pass resolution 2628. Roll call, please.
Brown.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons. Aye.
Resolution 2628 is passed. Now we're reverting back, Craig. Appreciate you.
Thank you all for indulging me. Go Charlie.
Go Tigers.
Run like the wind, Chuck.
Yeah. Audience participation portion of the meeting. If you'd like to address council, please step at the podium, name and address, and you will have 5 minutes to address council.
Good evening, Mary Tessie, 1507 Karen Street. I just had one question until I listened to the whole meeting, and I would like to know what the CAO wants to do with the Rice property. Why do they want to buy it, purchase it?
Nate?
It's not the CAO, it's the Port Authority that is looking to buy that to help develop it for new housing.
Single family dwelling, for
That's
what it's
correct.
zoned for?
Yes,
So who would own that then?
the Port Authority. It's my understanding.
Is it going to be apartments?
No,
It's going to be single
Yes.
houses.
yeah. And when it would be sold, it would be,
So what?
it would have deed restrictions in it stating so.
So why don't you just try to sell it to the public instead of sell it to the Port Authority? Why do we have to have them involved? Or maybe even the people that property backs to their property, maybe they would like to have that piece of property so they're not looking at some, whatever they want to build.
Well, I can tell you in one of the meetings I said, there's a desired interest to be able to have more single-family housing available in the city. Having more newer families in our community, they pay income tax, they're gonna pay.
Right, so why don't you just sell the
Utilities, so-
lots? Why does the Port Authority have to
You
be
said
involved?
sell it to the people that backed up to it.
Well, that was one thing too, but I don't understand why
So
the
I
Port
think
Authority has to
instead
be
of-
involved.
I'm sorry, John.
Yes, I'm sorry.
I think instead of selling to people that have a larger yard, there's a desire to be able to make more housing available to people in single family. When we sold it, it would have a deed restriction stating single family. I don't know, and maybe it's changed, I don't know that it's the desire of council to go through and sell each individual property as a realtor, as a city function.
I don't see how you can guarantee it's single family.
If we sell it with deed restrictions stating it has to be single family, it has to be built within X amount of years, so many square feet, and so forth. I think that kind of protects it as far as the guidelines, how we'd like to see it develop.
Well, we have a house on Charlotte Street that is owned by the CAO that shouldn't have been, that one person lives in. I had to call today to get the grass cut because it was 2 foot high. So I don't quite understand if it's single family dwelling, how the CAO ended up buying that house. Actually, I do know how, but they probably
Is it a
shouldn't have.
duplex?
No, it's a beautiful brick home, $100,000 they paid for it.
So it is
One
single
person
family.
that has 24-hour care is living in it.
You said it wasn't a single family.
Well, the CAO, initially, the disabilities people bought it and put 3 people in there, and they died, or whatever happened to them. And now there's one person who is mentally,
So it is a
Okay.
single family.
well, it's one person living there, yes, with 24-hour care, but my
That's what a
understanding
single
was,
family only is.
but I didn't think they were allowed to have 24-hour care. Because then you're not really looking at it like a single family, are you? If that person
If
needs
you have
24-hour care.
home health care,
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I don't understand why the CAO would buy that.
Not violate our zoning.
I don't know. I don't.
Why you pay $100,000?
I can tell you, Ms. Tussey, that one of the meetings I sat in, the desire of council was to develop that into nice, single-family homes where people move in, there would be taxpayers, have utilities, and improve that neighborhood.
And who was on that planning committee?
Who's on the planning committee?
It was mentioned that a planning committee when it first started the meeting. Who was the planning committee?
I don't know.
Was that the strategic planning committee of Harvey, Klein, and Rowe? Did they have anything to do with that?
I don't know. I'm not sure what you're referencing. I really don't.
Okay.
The meeting I sat in with the mayor and a representative of the Port Authority.
I don't understand why we're bringing the Port Authority down there.
Robbie?
I was just gonna, my understanding a little bit on that, Marion, is, so the Port Authority wouldn't be retaining ownership of that once they build homes, right? They would be selling them to individuals. So it's not, they would just be acting as the developer, not that they would be renting those properties out, they would be developing the homes and selling them as the goal. But I'm also not opposed to selling to individuals if individuals want to buy the lot.
Okay. I did have a question from another citizen. They wanted to know if all the new water meters are installed and that people are not having to have their water bills adjusted. Is that kind of still?
Yeah, I believe we've completed the water meter project.
It's totally completed?
I believe so.
Okay. And then just an opinion here, as far as, I wanted to get this straight too, because a lot of ordinances was being thrown out. Are you cutting me off?
No, go ahead and
Okay.
finish your thought.
Okay. So I just want to get this right. So we have an ordinance where we're going to raise garbage fees. We have an ordinance where you all approve that we're going to have these stormwater fees put on us. You all approve that. We're going to have the recreational levy fee go to vote, so that could possibly be put on us. So just
The recreation levy is a renewal.
Okay.
It will cost nothing that anybody's not been paying regardless. So the recreation levy, I will speak to that, is a renewal.
But you do have an ordinance where you've got a lot that you're going to charge a stormwater fee on, correct?
Nate probably, no,
Can I address that? No, there is not an ordinance adjusting the stormwater fee, right, on this.
Okay,
on
the
this
ERU
ordinance.
or whatever was in the.
We discussed that in the Public Utilities Commission. There's been discussion for, like Craig said, the last 12 years about converting how we bill for stormwater from usage from water to runoff units based on size of lots and whatnot. We had a discussion because we have a consultant, because we're the only community in Ohio that charges residents by usage. So we're wanting to get up with the times and charge how it's supposed to be. So there's been no discussion as increase on that. There's been discussion as far as a study on how to do it the right way, is what we have with stormwater.
But you could possibly charge for a lot that has nothing on it.
if it's impermeable.
That's correct.
Okay, so let me explain this to you. Impermeable, if it's a grass lot, their guidance is no. If it is, parking lots, so we're talking about, a lot of people have problems with Ironton Hills Center or whatever it is. So each individual, outlet out there is just paying for what they use in water. So basically, nobody's out there taking showers, this, that, and the other, right? So they're probably paying minimum water bills and not contributing anything to the stormwater runoff that we're having to take care of.
Okay, what about the ditch? What about the ditch behind our house where we have the water from the DOT? Are we gonna be responsible to have to pay for that?
I can't speak for your ditch. I want to finish my thought if you don't care. I'll get to the ditch here in a second if I can think of where that would be at. As far as where you're talking about with the garbage increase, there has been no garbage increase. We passed a ordinance that adjusts,
2623. I tried to stay up with them, 2623, and it was mentioned
Yeah,
about
that's the
garbage
garbage
fee,
fee
water fee.
that's the residential garbage fee going down.
Yeah,
The water administration fee going down. We adjusted up the sewer because we have a sewer plant that hasn't been updated in 40 years and has been neglected and needs it. Instead of passing on the cost of a $70 million new plant, we're trying to refurbish it in phases so we're not breaking the backs of residents. We're trying to be conscious of residents.
it's still a race, it's still a race.
It is still a race,
Yeah.
and it's still something we have to process, water that comes through the sewer lines, so that we don't get EPA slap. We're taking people's money and paying fines to EPA for it. We're fixing it the right way, and we're trying to do it consciously and not waste a bunch of money doing that. So we take down two rates to be conscious of, yes, we have to increase this rate to address this need. So
Still a race.
as far as the garbage rates, the commercial rate is what increased, so we were able to bring down the residential rate for regular people. not commercial users. So, as far as your ditch goes, I'm not 100% informed on what that is. I'm not sure if you own the ditch. We've been asking as far as opinion, as far as the ODOT and their responsibility for runoff. We recognize that they are one of the number one contributors to rainwater, and that's something I still would like to pursue, is be able to have them remedy that.
Yeah, let's charge them instead of the.
I would love to.
The people that.
Love to
put
discuss
up
it.
the water.
I agree.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other audience participation? I'm seeing none. Moving on to reports. There are none. Miscellaneous. I have, okay. Make a motion to include the April financials. Mark. Sorry, I was looking for that for you. March financials. Jacob,
I'll second.
roll call please.
Brown.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey. Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Simmons. Aye.
All, those are included,
I reached out to the solicitor for an opinion regarding condemnation of commercial parking lots that are disrepair, potholes, trash, and whatnot. I'd like to request a strategic planning committee to be able to discuss that further and possible ability of legislation regarding that. So I don't know if I've
Yeah. Is there an ideal day, time?
we have a CIC meeting at 5 o'clock for the 14th. Can we do it following that meeting?
Yeah, be fine.
I'll be out of town,
Okay.
but I'm very interested in this and
Okay.
a recap.
I think that might be better because we're going to meet the CIC meeting. Because I'd like to have the solicitor's input on that also.
Okay.
I'll pass along for you what we.
Do this
Yes.
immediately following.
Yeah, I'll call
So,
that, yeah.
strategic planning, Jacob, you want to go ahead and call right now?
Yeah,
Strategic planning
Immediately following CIC on the 14th of May.
in council chambers,
Yes. What time, please?
immediately following CIC at 5. Nate, sorry.
Is there any other miscellaneous?
I do have one, guys, creeping up on us, Ethics Commission of Ohio. I don't know if you guys already completed it, but please, if you haven't already, do so, because they tack on, I think it's like $10 a day that if you go over. So everybody, please remember for elected officials, complete your Ethics Commission paperwork and get it submitted before the 15th of May.
I just have one thing real quick. I wanted to recognize the mayor and John Keogh. We had a person come in probably a month and a half ago, Roger Malone. If you guys remember talking about the time capsule, he just posted an update for those of you that don't have Facebook, thanking the mayor and John Keogh and Brad Bear Media for some ideas about the opening of that time capsule. And it's just receiving a lot of good praise on Facebook. So I wanted to throw that out there as there's a lot of excitement for something cool happening in the city this summer.
Appreciate it. Anybody else? Ms. Lance? Nate?
I'll make a motion to go to executive session for pending litigation, personnel, and contracts with the mayor, finance director, HR director.